I'm Jenny POON, founder of Cahoots, and I'm honored to receive the YWCA Tribute to Leadership Community Service Corporate Award. I grew up in Minnesota, born and raised. My parents are refugees from Vietnam, so they grew up in Vietnam and escaped Vietnam during the Vietnam War. And so if you know of the concept of boat people during the Vietnam War, they were one of those people that just jumped in a boat and tried to go anywhere but back to Vietnam. So I grew up in Minneapolis mostly because my parents started a restaurant in Minneapolis, and I grew up a lot in the restaurant. All 30 plus years of my life was pretty much like working in and out of the restaurant. My parents always talked about like how hard they worked, and you could see it. You know, she would come home with burnt arms because she was working the fryer, or you know, they never took a break. It was 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. every day, and didn't take a vacation until I think this year. I ended up going to the University of Minnesota, which is right where my parents' restaurant is, so it was an easy transition. I went there and I studied journalism and global studies, and then I followed that up and I studied design. Then I got hired on at the Arizona Republic as our art director for AZ Magazine, and then moved throughout a few different other roles until I eventually started my own design company, advertising agency, and that was in 2009 in the middle of the recession. And so I was struggling with having been in a corporate environment for so long and then going off on my own, trying to figure out how you grow a business from scratch in the middle of the recession from an industry that has always been super collaborative. And so I was working at home by myself and finding that I was really stifled. I was feeling really isolated, and so I went out looking for just people who were in the same boat as me, right? Like independents, working from home. Maybe we could just sit in a coffee shop and work together. Eventually I found a lot of those people, and I said, hey, what if we came in together and shared the space and lowered our risk, right? And that's what it started as. Like Cahoots, the co-working space, started as just a shared space concept. But now I'm really interested in what Cahoots does in its ability to impact a community and help these individual businesses. And that's actually a great thing. I think showing other women and other young women that it's possible is just, it's a huge gift, and it takes them out of this role of always having to work for somebody and always having to like fight for just the bare minimum. And I've never met a single woman that's okay with the bare minimum. Like, and I think that women in general have this untapped ability to overachieve, right? So I would say to any young female entrepreneur that like, it's okay to try, it's okay to explore, it's okay to figure things out. You won't have all the answers, and you're only going to figure out, nobody's going to tell you those answers. You're only going to figure out the answers after you go through these different things. So the best thing you can do is just jump.